Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're able to join me for tonight's class. You're live or catching the recording in our Zoom virtual classroom. I'm Christy Gammon, team leader of Team Share and Shine with doTERRA Essential Oils, and I'm thrilled to be bringing you tonight's free class, Essential Emotions, and this is the first time I'm teaching it virtually. So say a little prayer that everything goes smoothly, and I'm thrilled to be bringing this important information to you online for the first time. So let me just share my screen so that you're able to see my presentation. Just get the correct view. Yep, there we go. I want to give you a moment, since we are meeting virtually, to grab your essential oils. If you already have some oils in your home, grab whatever you have. Maybe you'll hear something in common. Maybe you'll hear me mention one of the oils that you have, and I'd love for you to be able to pull it out and experience it as we go through the class. I'm going to be talking about a number of different oils, and as always, you're invited to pull it out, take a drop, put it in the palm of your hand, rub your hands together, breathe it in deeply, maybe add it to the back of your neck. In this class, we'll be talking about a couple of different application points, including your forehead, your wrists, your elbow creases, over your heart, on your tummy, the bottoms of your feet, just to name a few. So feel free to have your oils on hand and experience them as we go. You might also like to have a glass of water handy. I've got my water here. If you're enjoying your essential oils in your water, just remember you want to have either a glass or ceramic or stainless steel container. And then you also might like to have a notebook and pen handy. There's a lot of good information in this class that you might want to make note of. So while you're grabbing everything, getting comfortable in your area, I want to just share a little bit of my personal testimony. For those of you who have heard the whole story before, I'm not going to go into the whole story, but you know that I was treating my immune system and my skin, two very physical things where medicines and doctors, just traditional approaches, were failing or non-existent for me. And so I turned to natural solutions, including essential oils, and just had my whole life turned around. And so I had been just singing the praises of the physical benefits of essential oils for about 5 or 6 years. And then I realized I was turned on to this information myself and learned the incredible emotional benefits that exist in each and every one of our essential oils. So even those oils that I was thinking of as very physical oils, the ones that I used right from the beginning were On Guard, Melaleuca or tea tree, and lavender. And I was just blown away to then learn the emotional aspects of these same oils that helped me in my physical condition. And I was just so incredibly blessed to learn that they also were strengthening me emotionally, helping me create strong emotional boundaries like a force field around me and find calm, clarity, and communication. And so I hope that over the course of this class, you will learn something that blows your mind and really opens your mind to the essential, the emotional side of our essential oils. So as I do at the beginning of every class, I just like to go over our intentions for this time that we're about to spend together. So also known as our agenda, these are the sections of the class that you're going to check off as we go along, so you kind of know where we're headed. We're going to start with grounding in truth, and we're going to end with living empowered. So look for those as we go through the class. These are the topics that we'll be covering. So we're going to start by grounding in truth. And if you have your frankincense handy, I would love for you to pull out your bottle of frankincense. There you go. And just enjoy a drop of the oil of truth. I'm going to put a drop in my palm. And I got an extra drop, so now my notes are anointed. I'm just going to breathe that in deeply. And as I mentioned, frankincense is a great oil for prayer and meditation. You may just want to anoint your forehead. You may just want to take a little bit and put that over your heart. As I said, frankincense is the oil of truth. It's a powerful cleanser and magnifier that opens up the mind's eye and connects the soul with its authenticity. And so I invite you to apply some to your forehead or your heart and connect to these 3 simple truths that we're going to start with. So are you ready to feel good more often? I want you to know that the truth is you can. Health and wellness is in abundance, and it's available to each and every one of us. All we have to do is step into it, say yes to it, and orient our bodies, minds, and spirits toward health and wellness and feeling good, feeling better more and more often. It's something that we can choose into. So I invite you to just open your mind, open your body to that truth. And we're going to be building on that. So our next truth is you are created to function as a whole. Our bodies are brilliant in design, and they naturally want to be and will work with you to be balanced and whole. We just need to believe that and come into alignment with it. And finally, this is true. Your body is made of intelligent cells, and it's designed to continually restore health. So if you align with that, if you choose into that, you're just automatically giving yourself an advantage toward health and wellness. Today is an invitation to listen to your body and to be open to what it is teaching you. And so let's move into the second section, emotions and your body. You see there at the top, emotions are chemicals. So to learn the language of our body so that we can listen to it, we need to know what emotions are and what they're communicating. So emotions in their smallest, most basic form are chemical molecules. This little image on your screen is of a cell, and the little Y shape there is a receptor site. And you can see little tiny molecules making their way toward the interior of the cell through that receptor site. Receptors kind of function like scanners as part of your cell. So think of little eyes or ears scanning back and forth and then collecting the molecules that are allowed to pass and the messages that are attached to them. As this information reaches the inside of your cell, it impacts your energy level, your behavior, and your mood. I think it's fascinating to consider how our emotions have the power to affect our overall health. Now, because our emotions are chemicals, they are not limited to the mind. I know a lot of times we think of emotions and feelings and thoughts, and we just relegate them all to the mind or the brain. And so I want you to consider a new approach to categorizing or understanding your emotions through this class. Because they're chemicals, they can flow freely throughout the entire body. They flow and they're processed predominantly in what we call 3 brains. And those are pictured on your screen there. You have the mind brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. And so they're each 3 independent neural networks, you could call them, but they connect and they interact together. So they each have their own memory and intelligence, and then using those, they work together as a team for you. And so feelings can be processed in each of the brains, and they're kind of handled by each of the brains in unique ways. And so first, let's look at the mind brain. That's like the conductor directing the body to feel emotionally and also behave physically. The heart brain is called the discerner. It discerns messages that the brain receives. So you see how they're kind of working in concert there. And then finally, the gut brain responds accordingly based on what's going on in the mind and the heart, and then distributes health or illness throughout the body based on the consensus of what's going on in those three brains. The gut is going to distribute either health or illness throughout the body. And so again, I just feel that it's amazing the power that your body holds to choose either illness or wellness. And so this is just a little visual of what I just said. As the three brains connect, we have the opportunity to feel really good. And so here we have this young lady. She's obviously thinking happy thoughts. All of her three brains are in concert. She's anointed herself with oil. You can see her just radiating. She looks gorgeous. Her skin is healthy. And she's just walking out into the world, into her life, radiating health and wellness. And so we see how possible it is. And then I like to call this slide, Enter Real Life. So we're going to instinctively process whatever life is throwing at us, all those experiences, like the woman in the first image where it says life experience. Have you ever felt like her? So she's got someone on the phone, looks like maybe an unpleasant phone call. Her baby's crying and her dog also needs attention. She's immediately recording all of these different stimuli in her subconscious. And so as she does that, then we move into the second image of processing. Each brain is simultaneously sending its own message. And as you process, they're trying to figure out if they're in discord or if they're in alignment. And they can either be in alignment with negative or alignment with positive. Obviously, you know where we want to be, but where are we most often just dealing with life circumstances coming at us? So in this example, you see a little thought bubble coming from her mind brain, says, I have to figure this out. This is my responsibility. In her heart brain, she's thinking, I feel overwhelmed. Maybe in her heart, she's feeling, I'm just holding on to too much. And then her gut brain reinforces, remember, what's going on in the heart and the mind. And then it's about to distribute something throughout the mind and body. So it's reinforcing that above, and it's feeling stuck based on those. Maybe I don't know what to do. And so then we have this reaction, and you can see then where whatever is happening emotionally with all this going on at a subconscious level, you start to feel symptoms. And so and you might feel all three, but you might tend to feel one over the other, just depending on your body chemistry and what is most common for you. So some of you will be resonating with, oh yes, I get overwhelmed, I feel stressed, I get head tension, or I get overwhelmed, I feel stressed, I feel confusion, conflict, overwhelm, I feel like maybe heartbroken, or I feel like there's tightness in my chest. I have trouble getting a full, deep, satisfying breath. There's your heart space coming into play. Or many people experience digestive issues, that unsettled stomach, which can go in either direction and get stuck, or just be on overdrive and you feel like you can't leave the bathroom. This is a biochemical reaction that's occurring. So, and it can feel conflicted and confusing as you try to navigate those physical symptoms. The negative reactions are the consequences of the conflicting messages that are spiraling from head to toe. and they can disrupt your internal balance. This results in disconnection, or as you may guess, dis-ease, disease. Finally, when we think and feel something simultaneously, a new belief is created, and that's what we're looking at in that fourth and final picture there. And we can reinforce old beliefs or plant new ones. This is where our choice comes into the picture. And so if you were to just follow the flow of this chart and she's headed down this very negative path, she might think something that I know I've thought many times. You get this, you get anchored into this belief that I'm just not good enough. I cannot handle everything that life is throwing at me, and so I'm not good enough. End of story. But we have the choice to replace that and nurture a new belief. Whatever we nurture, our belief is going to produce fruit. So it can produce a weed, like what you see there on the screen, something that you need to weed out, or we can plant a seed. And so that's a question for you to hold for yourself as we go throughout the class. Am I cultivating weeds or seeds? And you might just think of one example, one stressful stimuli coming in. What tools do you have right now to handle that? How do you process? Do you end up in this flow like we're looking at on the screen right now, or do you have healthy ways to handle stress coming at you? Are you cultivating on a regular basis weeds or seeds? And if you feel like you have some weeds that you want to pull out, you want to replace those with seeds, we're going to go through a brief exercise at the end of the class to help you do that. And I want to just give you an encouraging word. I want to go back because I don't want to leave you in a place where, oh my gosh, I'm full of weeds and I don't know what to do. I want to encourage you and just go back and repeat that sentence that nurturing a belief produces fruit. And so we have the power to nurture a seed instead of a weed. And I love this quote by this psychologist, Dr. Seligman. He says, habits of thinking need not be forever. One of the most significant findings in psychology is that individuals can choose the way they think. And so just know that in this moment, if you've had a weed or two that have maybe been there for a long time, it is possible to overcome it. In this moment, you can make a different choice and you can just reset the whole course of your life from the perspective of that belief. That is available to you. And so let me talk now for a few minutes about essential oils and how they fit into this emotional picture. Essential oils are an incredibly effective emotional wellness tool. So when I was just asking the question, what tools do you have on hand to be able to deal with the stress that life is throwing at you? I want you to consider essential oils as being one of those tools. Because both emotions and essential oils are chemical molecules, they interact chemically. So I want you to think about that. We talked about emotions being chemicals. Now, you may have heard this before, but not in the context of emotions before. So remember, your essential oils are also chemical compounds. So the things that we said about emotions are also true of your essential oils. They're going to float freely throughout your entire body, and they're going to be able to impact you on a cellular level and communicate with your emotions. So they're going to interact chemically with your cells and your emotions. And it's a powerful reaction that occurs as your emotions and essential oils make contact in the body. Essential oils are chemically complex, and so this results in their many different uses and applications, which of course we're somewhat aware of just from the physical perspective. And so I want to talk about for a minute essential oils being also extremely molecularly dense. So as chemical molecules, they're tiny, but they're action-packed. And so this is what can bring results that are both immediate and permanent. I want you to consider that just one drop of oil has 40 million trillion molecules. This is enough to cover all of the cells in your body 40,000 times. So that shows a lot of love to each one of your cells as that one drop of oil dissolves and connects throughout the body, reaching every cell in just a matter of minutes. And some of the amazing things that occur as those essential oils connect with the cells in the body are they are going to support healthy cell function, they're going to anchor into healthy biochemistry, and they're going to promote physical and emotional detox. And so first I want to talk about wild orange. It was on the previous screen. And so if you have wild orange, we're going to talk about a couple of oils here. If you have wild orange handy, take that out. Maybe just breathe it from the bottle. We call this sunshine in a bottle. Wild orange is one of the most powerful mood shifting oils. As a citrus, it's just so abundant and plentiful and affordable. And it's often all you need to shift out of a low vibration or low mood. Just breathe it out of the bottle or out of your hands. I always want to remind you in the summertime with citrus oils, you want to be very careful regarding photosensitivity. So you definitely want to breathe it in, maybe put it on the palms of your hands or the bottoms of your feet. Enjoy it that way, but just resist lathering it on yourself and then going out into the sun. So you would not want to have any sun sensitivity with your wild orange. But I want to just call your attention. I'm a big fan of reference books. And so when I talk about an oil and I say that wild orange is the oil of abundance, I'm using this reference book. This is Essential Emotions. This is the most recent version of this book, and it is fantastic. If you do not have this in your library, you want this book. It's really affordable. It's in the, I think, $15 to $17 range. This book is not sold in bulk, and so at a discount, so I don't buy it in bulk. Because there's no reason for you not to just go onto Amazon or your favorite essential oil supply site and just order a copy and have it delivered directly to your home. So definitely get Essential Emotions. So I wanted to reference first wild orange as the oil of abundance. And so if you have any thoughts, any weed type thoughts or beliefs that are rooted in scarcity, such as our example, I'm not good enough, or I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough money, there's just not enough of me to go around, etc. Those are scarcity based thoughts. And so wild orange can help pull you into abundance. And what's true is that there's plenty of time, there's plenty of resources, we just need to tap into them. And so that's a little bit about wild orange. It invites connection in the body and it stimulates energy. I love to diffuse wild orange. And truly all citrus oils are cleansing. They promote a release of toxins and they are emotionally uplifting. And then let's also talk about peppermint for just a minute. I love to diffuse peppermint and wild orange at the beginning of any class. As you know, I've just touched on some of the physical benefits of wild orange and all citrus oils. Peppermint, I've got that now. I'm going to put a drop in my hand. Physically, peppermint is going to open up your airways so that you can experience all of this delicious aromatherapy to the full. It's also going to open up your mind and your memory so that you're going to receive and retain this new information and be able to recall it later. But I thought you would love to know that emotionally, peppermint is the oil of a buoyant heart. And so I'm just going to read a little bit from this book. Peppermint brings joy and buoyancy to the heart and soul. It invigorates body, mind, and spirit and reminds individuals that life can be happy and they don't have to be controlled by fear. It lifts an individual out of their emotional trials for a short reprieve. When individuals use peppermint, they feel as though they're gliding through life. It assists in staying on the surface of emotional issues, like floating on top of water. And so I just absolutely love that imagery. First of all, hands down, I love the language in this book. But specific to peppermint, I love that imagery. And I'm hoping to encourage you with these first few oils that maybe you already have in your collection, thinking of them as physical oils and not realizing what they could also do for you emotionally. So if you're experiencing a heavy emotion that you feel like you're just sinking down into, maybe you even feel like you're drowning, just to stick with that water example, then peppermint being the oil of a buoyant heart and just feeling maybe like a life preserver being thrown to you so that you can come up to the surface of the water and you can float along, not let the power of a heavy emotion drag you down too much. Rather, let peppermint help give you a boost, give you some buoyancy, bring some joy and some lightness into your heart so that you can process through the emotion. We always want to honor whatever emotion that we're feeling and process through it. We want to be able to learn from it. We don't want to stuff it down or ignore it. We want to be able to bring it into the light and learn from it and then move on. So peppermint is a wonderful choice for that. And just to make the point that our essential oils are all plant-based. You see the little picture of the peppermint plant there. Under the microscope, the little white sacs are where the oil live. If you've ever rubbed the leaf of a peppermint plant and had just a sudden burst of peppermint smell, then you know you've just actually burst those little essential oil sacs and released the aroma into the air. So just as essential oils help plants, they also help us defend, nourish, and repair on a cellular level. And so let's look at I always like to incorporate into all of my classes, why would we choose doTERRA essential oils? And the point is that we want to choose carefully. When you're just out in the marketplace, there are so many essential oils to choose from. You've got to pay attention to the grade of essential oil that you're looking at, because the grade is really important in terms of quality and then determining safety and effectiveness. So you want to choose carefully. You don't want to be looking at synthetic or food grade or even therapeutic grade when you're either breathing in the oils, applying them topically, or ingesting them for true physical and emotional well-being. You want to be able to count on the oil that you're using being the absolute highest quality. And so you're looking for certified pure therapeutic grade. And this is doTERRA's standard. This is the gold standard in essential oils. Every time you open your little brown bottle, you know that that oil has been sourced indigenously, so on the planet where it grows naturally. We're working with the growers who have been harvesting and just loving on those plants for generations. And then we're putting what we extract from those plants in our distilleries through the strictest in-house and third-party testing before we deliver that bottle to your home. And so once you open that bottle, you know you've got the absolute purest, safest, and most potent oil. And that way, you're going to get consistent results. I could not teach a class like I'm teaching right now if anytime you open the bottle, you might find different fillers or different combinations of ingredients. We wouldn't be able to trust that every time we open the bottle, we're going to get the same results. And that's doTERRA's promise to you, that over and over, you can count on these oils as natural solutions to what you're dealing with. And I like to point out in all my classes that if you'd like to do further research, I always recommend going to doTERRA.com and source2u.com. And source2u is all together, no periods, no spaces, SOURCETOYOU.com. I think you'll like what you find there. And so let's explore in a little more detail these 3 ways to use essential oils that I just mentioned. The first is going to be aromatically. And aromatically is the fastest and easiest way we have to shift mood. Now, we've all been experiencing, hopefully you have your built-in diffusers. Your nose, you can just smell an oil right out of the bottle. You can put a drop in your palms, smell it out of your hands. doTERRA also offers this beautiful range of diffusers. If you need some help deciding which diffuser is best for you, or if you're putting several diffusers in different rooms, I can help you decide which is best for which room and what you're trying to address. Just reach out and let me know. I can help you with that. So a little more specifically, smell is the fastest way to affect mood, as I just mentioned, because those aromatic, the chemical molecules that are your essential oils are volatile aromatic compounds. That means they're moving around. And so when they're released into the air, whether you're just breathing it out of the bottle or experiencing it out of a diffuser, they get direct access as you breathe them in through your nose to the limbic system of the brain. And it's the emotional seat of the brain. So it's not only monitoring or managing your sense of smell, but it's also connecting to your emotions and your memories. And so that connection is really cool and very impactful. And so let's take a look at another oil. This is Balance. This is a blend which includes frankincense that we talked about at the top of the class. I'm just going to put a drop in my palm. Here it comes. It's got a lot of yummy tree oils in it, so it's a thicker oil. It took a little bit longer to drop out of the bottle, and I am going to put a little bit of that on the back of my neck and just reach in and put a little bit over my heart as well. And just breathe that in. And so physically, we know that the Balance blend is actually going to help us balance the body. If you're having any issues with physical balance, this is the oil for you. But emotionally, this is a beautiful blend to reach for in stress. And so it's also going to balance those scattered and anxious feelings and bring overall harmony throughout the mind and the body. Let's talk about topical application for a minute. We would switch to topical application if we want to help stimulate self-repair. We're going to address specific things and parts of the body. And as we looked at that example in the beginning, as we processed through with the girl and dealt with stressful stimuli and then saw that biochemical reaction in the body, we looked at the 3 brains and how she was having physical symptoms. So this topical slide connects directly with that. So the first recommendation there, apply the oil on the back of your neck, across your forehead, or on the bottoms of your feet. Those connect with your mind brain. So if you're experiencing physical symptoms that associate with the mind brain, those are some wonderful places to apply your oils topically. And then so on. So the second one connects with your heart brain. You want to apply those oils over your heart space, possibly inside your wrists, or in the fleshy pockets behind your ears. And then the last one there, apply over your stomach area or bottoms of the feet. That connects to the gut brain. And so the oil I want to highlight in this topical section is Breathe. Another oil you might be very familiar with from a physical standpoint. Breathe, known as the oil of breath, is a wonderful support oil for grief. When you think about grief, the picture that I get in my mind is someone just crying really hard, and to the point maybe that they can't even catch their breath, or maybe grief, a loss, processing a loss in such a way that maybe it even throws you into a panic attack where you're breathing rapidly and you can't control your breath. Any of those examples, whatever the spectrum is, you're breathing too much or too fast, or you can't catch your breath. Any of that spectrum can be regulated with your breathe oil. It supports emotional cleansing as well as overall respiratory function, which just go hand in hand. And so you can put, you can just breathe your breathe oil right out of the bottle. It's wonderful for diffusing, and I also love it topically right on the chest, right on the heart space, the lung area, the esophagus, the breastplate, just coming down through. Beautiful to apply. Either breathe oil or breathe stick if you have it on the chest space. And then finally, let's talk about internal use. And this, I'm just going to refer you back to when we talked about why doTERRA. And so you would never want to ingest an oil unless it's doTERRA, because you can count on our purity. And so I've got grapefruit essential oil in my water today. As I mentioned, with the photosensitivity of citrus oils, ingesting in your water is a great way to still get those citrus oils and the benefits from them, both physical and emotional, flowing through your body, mind, and spirit. You want to just drink it in your water. So I will pause and take a little drink break there and invite you to do the same. So the CPTG oils are labeled for dietary use. I'm just going to grab my wild orange and hold this up. And so hopefully you're able to see that clearly. It's labeled with supplement facts. And so that's how you know that it's safe to ingest your wild orange or any of your citrus oils and a whole host of other oils. You can also take your oils under your tongue, or you can put them in a gel cap. And for a moment, I'm just going to talk about On Guard, which is another incredible physical oil. This one I mentioned at the top of the class as one that I used for immune support when I first started my oil journey. And I was so blessed to learn that it helps with the emotion of vulnerability. So in the book, On Guard is the oil of protection, and it talks about how it not only provides that physical force field for environmental and physical threats coming at the body, but it also provides an emotional force field. So let me just see if I can flip quickly and tell you a couple of examples. Yes, so energetic parasites. So for me as an introvert, anytime, and no offense to any person, it's not personal, it's just the overwhelm of lots of personal contact. So it's not any one person that's necessarily draining me, but if I've had a busy day with a lot of person-to-person contact, I can feel it feels like an energetic parasite to me. It feels like my energy's been sucked out. So that's how I think through that. So On Guard is a great oil for me as an introvert to protect my energy. So my job and my passions have me interacting with people all the time, and I love it, and I don't think people normally see me as an introvert. I typically am pretty high energy. I love to listen to you and talk to you and tell stories and laugh and be with people. But the end result, if I'm not careful, can be very draining. So On Guard is an amazing emotional support to me, in addition to being my immune support, to just help bolster the energy that I have so that I'm able to give away as much as possible and not be completely depleted. So if you are experiencing a domineering personality, if there is maybe a challenging person, On Guard is a great oil to help you combat that. And it just helps you maintain clear boundaries and helps you feel more confident. So that opposite of vulnerable, if I'm really vulnerable, then I'm maybe letting people interrupt me or knock me off my goals and agenda. Whereas if I'm confident and I'm supported by my on guard, then I'm going to be able to set, here are my boundaries, here's what I'm open to, here's what I can handle. So amazing. Isn't that amazing about on guard? Who knew? Now, I believe in all these instances that it makes sense when you hear. I find that over and over, when you look up the emotional side of what I, tend to think of as a very physical oil, it always kind of goes together and you think, oh yeah, that makes sense to me. And so I would encourage you to look up a few more oils like digestion and deep blue and just have fun with how dynamic these physical oils are when you look at the emotional sides of them. And I just think that's pretty fun. And so there's the little visual that goes with what I just said. Essential oils are dynamic, supplying targeted support for healthy emotions and body. And so there's our ideal. There's our girl again. She's just at her high point, both physically and emotionally. And so let's look at a couple of things. We're going to now end our class with a couple of categories of essential oils, but I always want you to feel fully equipped. I wouldn't want you to think of emotional support any differently than you think of physical support. We still want to have those foundations of health in place. They are going to support us emotionally as much as they support us physically. So the lifestyle choices that we're making, such as drinking water, moving our bodies, getting proper rest, meditating, grounding, improving our diet and nutrition with supplementation, all of those things support our emotions as well. And the more we invest in those foundations, then the less we are going to have to go up to the top of the pyramid and explore the levels of healthcare. Our lifestyle is going to keep us out of those upper rungs, the more that we invest there. And so, as I do in all of my classes, I have to give a shout out to the Lifelong Vitality Pack, or LLV. You can see it in the box in the center of this little cleanse and restore pack. So this includes a number of supplements that would not only support you foundationally, that's your LLV, is that daily foundational nutritional support, but these other items you could pair with the LLV to give you a regular cleanse. And so if you're really feeling particularly sensitive in that gut brain, if you're having some digestive issues, it might be time for you to do a cleanse. And these would be the products that you would want for that. And if this is of interest to you, I do have live on Facebook. It's a group that I ran in January and February called, let me think of the exact name of it. It's the 30-Day Cleanse Team Challenge. So you can search for that on Facebook and ask to be added to it. And then you can just progress through that at your own pace anytime. If you want to do it together, let me know. I can either do it one-on-one with you or put together a group experience, but just know that that resource is available to you online right now. It's got tons of educational posts. Everything is organized into units that you can just progress through and learn as you go through a cleanse, and just how meaningful that is. And so here it is, our grand finale. We're going to cover 3 groups of essential oils that I want you to think of as your go-tos for emotional support. And they're going to be on 3 different levels. So this first group are our mood management oils, and we're going to call these our OGs. They're the originals. These are the first 4 oils that doTERRA introduced, and they're for mood management. So this category of oils, I like to explain as if you just need that basic mood shift. So maybe you experience some moods temporarily or only sometimes. And you just wish you had a support tool to be able to shift out of that emotion into something more healthy. So a little scenario that I think of is maybe back to my days when I was working full-time in an office environment and I was facing a lot of stress. So the height of my stress seemed to always be around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which would just hit at the crossroads of low energy. And so I didn't know at the time what else to reach for. And so I would reach for things like caffeine, um, soda, chocolate. Some people reach for coffee. Maybe your mood is hitting you in the evening time and you're feeling low. It's not quite time for bed yet, but you don't know what to do with this. And your tendency is to stuff it, to try to disassociate from it, to resist that it's there, or to escape from it. And so you might be grabbing comfort foods, or you might be engaging in distracting or disassociative behaviors like watching TV or scrolling on social media. So instead of doing those things, I would invite you to try one of these oils to help you shift out of your mood. The 4 oils are balance, citrus bliss, elevation, and serenity. And you can use this mood matrix. This might be a screen that you want to take a picture of to determine which one are you feeling in this moment and which oil is going to help you best shift out of that. So you can see a couple of different axes that you want to look at. Are you on the fatigued or the stress end of that axis? Or are you on the peace or passion end of the other axis? And you're going to be 2 of them at once. And so then that's going to put you in one of 4 quadrants, and that's going to help you decide which oil that you want. And I love that it helps you by explaining what you might be feeling in the moment and then what that oil is going to do for you. So love this group of oils. If you just need that basic mood shift and you're wanting something that's a little more powerful than maybe just the wild orange or the peppermint that you already have in your collection, you may try something like balance or serenity, etc. These are really easy to use, easily accessible oils for anyone, including children, including pets. Then we can advance to our emotional aromatherapy collection. And the way that I distinguish as we take maybe a step up in our wellness support, our emotional wellness support, is I like to use the word therapy in the emotional aromatherapy collection as a clue. And so say that your emotional need is happening regularly enough that you would want to talk to someone about it. So maybe you want to have a conversation with a counselor or a pastor from your church or a small group leader from your church, or even just a trusted friend. I would invite you to pair that wise counsel that you're getting from a person with one of these essential oils. And in the clinical realm, these oils have all been found to be statistically significant to raise positive emotions and lower negative emotions. So this chart is really fun to look at as well. It's broken down by the contents of the bottle. So if you lean toward citrus oils, you think, oh, I just love my citrus oils, then motivate or cheer might be what you want. And think about a citrus oil and how it grows in a tree. And it's sunny and uplifting. If you think about a fruit and reaching up to pick it off of a tree, then think in your mind that those citrus oils are going to raise you up. They're going to bring sunshine into your life. They're going to bring warmth and cheer and motivation, help you get moving. All of that just kind of makes sense. And so then we'll do another quick example. Opposite on the chart are your tree oils. And you think about trees being rooted and grounded and strong and just low to the earth. And so if you gravitate toward tree oils, then you might love forgive or console to just help calm you and ground you and anchor you. Just a couple examples there of those oils that you might want to try. These are all available individually, and I should have mentioned that with the mood management oils as well. They're all available individually, or you can get them in little sets. And so here is the emotional aromatherapy set. This comes in the 5 milliliter bottles, or you can also get the Touch collection, which are the 10 milliliter rollers. Either way, if you want to diffuse, then I recommend having the bottles. If you want to apply it topically, then the rollers are really convenient for that. If you just wanted to get one set or one oil, I would choose the 5 milliliter because you can always make up your own roller ball. And if you need help doing that, just reach out. I can help you do that. And so one final tier of essential oils for you to consider is our adaptive line. Now this is our mental wellness solution. If you're looking for something with just a little extra strength. So maybe you've seen a doctor, maybe you've had a diagnosis, maybe you've had a prescription recommended. This is the level that we're talking about. But before you go there, you were just wondering, is there something natural out there that I could maybe try instead? This would be my recommendation for you. Now, I just want to say that there are 3 components for a reason, not just for marketing and sales. I love this graphic because it shows you the different ingredients. So what you're taking internally in the supplement is different from what you're getting in the oils that you're going to either diffuse or roll on topically. So you want to have all 3 for maximum strength. We're going to be ingesting the capsule, rolling the roller ball, potentially on, I think it says there, wrists and neck. You can do elbow creases, you can do over the heart, you can do hands and feet, whatever you would like to do. But the roller is great because there's some citrus oil in the blend that might flash off quickly. And when you combine that with a little carrier oil in the roller, it's going to have more staying power on your skin so that you can benefit from that, not only topically, but as kind of your own diffuser as you're wearing it. Maybe even call it a pure fume. The smell of adaptive is delicious. Here I have all 3. And here are the capsules. And just to show you, this is a capsule, so it's a little bigger than the soft gel. I'll just spill a couple of them out here. Hopefully you can see those. So just a normal size pill, not difficult to swallow at all. But I recommend getting all 3 so that you get the maximum benefit. You may decide that you want to try just one to start with. Once again, these can be purchased individually, or if you get the set of all 3, you get a discount. But I personally have never been diagnosed with anything. I just know the history of my family and how I feel on a regular basis. So I've never personally taken a prescription or any type of pharmaceutical for my experience. But when this came out, I thought I definitely want to try it, and it has helped me immensely. So just since I started taking this as a supplement and I diffuse the bottle, let's see, that goes in my kitchen and my living room about 6 hours a day. It's being diffused, and then I roll the roller on my wrists and the back of my neck every morning, and I take 1 pill every morning. Since I've been doing that, I've developed a brand new aspect of my morning routine, which has always been, you know, my morning ritual has always included things like prayer and meditation, affirmations, visualization, writing in my journal, exercising in some way. But then I've added this little home blessing that I just felt this desire rise up in me to do, even if it requires me to get up maybe 15 minutes earlier. I like to make sure my kitchen is clean and ready for the day. So if there were any dishes left over from dinner or the evening, I just quickly wash those and put them in the dishwasher, whatever needs to happen. Maybe throw in a load of laundry, straighten up the living room, get my diffusers going. I just call it my home blessing. And I've had the energy and the desire to do that since I started taking the supplement. It just has helped me, I don't know, just come alive a little bit more. After I started doing these things, I realized I've always wanted to do them. I just haven't felt like it. And so it's just that becoming a little more of yourself, that connecting with your soul's authenticity, those words I used in the beginning of the class, it has just really helped me become more of myself, a truer version and a better version of who I want to be. And so if that appeals to you, if that's resonating with you, please reach out and we'll talk more about how you can incorporate this amazing supplement into your life. I have tons of stories and testimonials, people who have used it for all kinds of different reasons and emotional needs that we can talk about one-on-one. And I know people who use it at various times of day, so we can come up with a plan that is perfect for you. Given our time frame, I actually started this class a little later than I had hoped, and so I don't want people to be too late. So I'm not going to go in depth into this exercise, but I am going to introduce it to you. And then I am going to send out, for anybody who wants, make sure I have your email, and I will send out the PDF that goes along with this exercise so that you can do it kind of as your homework. But I think you're going to love it. This is what I alluded to toward the beginning of the class about weeds, eliminating weeds, and cultivating seeds. And so I love this quote once again: you fill a bucket drop by drop, you clear your mind thought by thought, you heal yourself moment by moment. So we have this opportunity, and I'll show you the handout so that you know what to expect. This is called the Mood Lifestyle Support Exercise, and it's just a one-page, and it's nothing that you need to share back with me unless you want to. If you need help processing through it or talking through it, I would be very happy to do that. But you'll go through 3 different sections, and you're just going to rate some statements that correlate with the mind, the heart, and the gut brains. And you're going to decide if those statements are true for you or not. And then you're going to work through a process of, what do I need to weed out? Would it be negative thoughts, relationships, or substances? It could be any of those or all of those. I would encourage you to just take one thing at a time. And then move to the next section, represented by the little pink flower there. What do I want to plant instead? Now that I'm aware of the weed, what do I want to plant instead? This could be a new belief. It could be a new relationship, maybe with a counselor or a mentor. It could be taking supplements. Any of those things are available to you to now plant. And then finally, how will I nourish the seed? And that's represented by our girl there, who's just really healthy and strong. She's anointed with oil and just radiating goodness out into the world. She's got a beautiful affirmation going right there. She's telling herself, I am enough, I am whole. And so she might want to pair those affirmations with some healthy habits. Maybe she's going to drink more water, or maybe she's going to start walking every day. She's going to look at, what practices can I bring into my life? What new patterns can I work on? She may want to pair those affirmations with an essential oil. But if you're interested, I will send out this sheet so that you can work through that exercise on your own. Highly recommend doing that. And you can maybe revisit that monthly or quarterly as you feel like you're making progress. And so we've experienced, hopefully you've had your oils out and you've experienced some during the class. If you've not over this virtual class, then I'd love for you to come out to our live classes when those start back up in the fall. In the meantime, the best way for you to not only just experience an essential oil, but to live an empowered life is to have them in your own home. And so the easiest way to do that is to enroll with your own membership. And my recommendation is to choose an enrollment kit. And that way you're going to pay $35 for your annual membership. Each year, it just drops down to $25 and you get a free bottle of peppermint. But if you choose one of our enrollment kits, they even waive the $35. So over the course of your membership, when you factor in the initial fee being waived and your free bottle of peppermint, you almost never have to pay for your membership. It's only, pennies on the dollar. So the Healthy Essentials Kit, I would highly recommend for you because it incorporates a lot of the oils that we talked about tonight. If you're just looking for some essential oils and a diffuser to get started with supporting your emotional wellness, this would be the kit that I would recommend. You see adaptive there, and every single one of the oils following it are amazing, both physically and emotionally, as support tools. This is even described as favorites for your mind, body, and spirit. So I highly recommend the Healthy Essentials Kit. And as always, I always talk about the Natural Solutions Kit because that's the one that Greg and I chose. So this is for your complete lifestyle shift. You're going to get that foundational support with your supplements. You're going to be able to eliminate toxic load coming into your body with your self-care, personal care products like lotions and shampoos, and then just replacing products that are typically highly toxic when you're just picking them up at the grocery store, like your toothpaste, your hand soap, your mouthwash, etc. And of course, you get a ton of oils, a cute box to store them in, and a powerhouse diffuser. So if you're willing to invest in your health and wellness in a bigger way, hands down, this is my top recommendation for you. Now, this is where I want to end. This is so fun. It's the perfect illustration of looking at an oil from the physical perspective and then realizing what it has to offer you from the emotional perspective. So during the month of June, if you are to sign up with either of these two enrollment kits that I've just highlighted for you, or if you would want to do a custom, you can always do an a la carte order. However you want to put that together, I can help you figure out what's best for you to meet your needs and your budget. But if you hit 200 points, then you're going to get this amazing oil for free. And I forgot to bring it in. It's Immortelle. So I'd love to show it to you, but imagine it's a 10 milliliter roller ball and it does not have carrier oil in it. It's a straight, so it's not a touch oil. It's straight oils, some of the most high vibrational, incredible oils that you could put into a blend. I think this might be all of them, but one or two might be missing. Frankincense, sandalwood, lavender, myrrh, helichrysum, and rose. And so this oil is typically, it's called the anti-aging blend, and it's known for its benefits to the skin. But just listen to the first paragraph of the Emotions book. This is Immortelle, the oil of spiritual insight. Essential oils have been used since antiquity to assist meditation practices, prayer, and spiritual worship. Immortelle combines the power of high vibrational oils with grounding oils to assist the connection between spirit and body, between heaven and earth. It encourages positive states of being and supports the development of faith, hope, gratitude, kindness, love, patience, and trust. Oh my goodness. So if you are looking for one oil to really bring about a whole host of emotional well-being, I can't recommend Immortelle highly enough to you, and you have this amazing opportunity in June to get it for free. So I hope you take advantage of that. I hope that you're ready to feel good more often. I hope you're ready to say yes to feeling good more often and just understanding and embodying that truth that health and wellness is for you, and that the emotional wellness that you want, that you need, that you're seeking and desiring is available to you. And all the supports and all the encouragement that you need are here for you. Just reach out, let me know. Maybe it's your time to enroll. Maybe you'd love to just do a wellness consult and figure out how to incorporate some emotional oils into your daily habits that you're already working on. Either way, reach out to me or the person who invited you to this class. And as always, here's to your continued health and wellness. Thanks so much for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.